Welcome back to the Manga Duke. If this chapter confirms anything, it's that the world of One Piece has entered a state of true upheaval. The world order is crumbling on multiple fronts from multiple parties, and the powers that be are being placed into increasingly desperate situations, the scope of which you'll know and understand by the end of this video. Following up from the final page of volume 1082, Sabo begins to detail the extent to which his unit of the Revolutionary Army Freedom Fighters tore up the City of the Gods, Revirie. He notes they A. officially declared war by destroying the Celestial Dragon's symbol, B. rescued their comrade, the former warlord of the sea, Bartholomew Kuma, and as many slaves as possible, and C. destroyed the Celestial Dragon's food reserves. Monkey D. Dragon follows up by stating that the other portions of the army inspired uprisings in 12 nations, 8 of which were successful. Unfortunately, one of those 8 was the Lelucia Kingdom, which was eradicated by what may have been an ancient weapon. On top of all that, Eva notes that encampments of the Revolutionary Army have been taking action in various places, destroying supply ships heading from Revirie. They all acknowledge that the true fight is coming with the entrance of God's Knights, an elite and mysterious collection of warriors that serve as the most deadly arm of the Celestial Dragon's forces. So, that's a lot to take in. Let's dig in a bit. First off, this is truly the beginning of an actual civil war. It's been a smattering of small guerrilla actions for decades, but now the pieces are in place for an extended conflict, one that may actually draw real battle lines. With the inevitable domino effect of more nations splitting from their connection to the world government, bolstered by the image of Sabo standing over the body of King Nefertari Cobra, a good man, but a symbol of the world government nonetheless, there's no doubt that there will be an increase in the intensity of combat. I wouldn't be surprised if the next few arcs have various pieces of large-scale combat mixed in whatever shenanigans the Straw Hats are up to. In terms of strategy, as Eva states, they're engaged in siege warfare, destroying the food supply and the ability to replenish it, leveling the fortifications and structures, and destabilizing any outside support. Such a serious set of moves prompted the Celestial Dragons to bring out Admirals Fujitora and Ryokyogu, 2 particularly dangerous admirals as we learned in Dressrosa and the end of Wano. That being said, Sabo, himself immensely powerful due to the Flame Fruit, has some rather impressive backup. Kirisu, the Northern Revolutionary Army captain who served to sweep ground forces with his Soot Fruit, a soot-based Logia that, like all Logias, renders him immune to most physical attacks. He also seems to have the ability to conjure forms, in this case crows or some kind of corvid, that he can manipulate and maneuver and communicate through. From the sky, the attack was held by Lindbergh, the Southern captain. With his jetpack and laser rifle, he's taken to shooting apart the chains of the slaves in the city and throwing a few shots at the various government goons. Serving as a form of heavy artillery piece is Morley, the Western captain, a giant who uses the Oshi no Mi, which enables them to push and mold the ground to their own wills. This excels in the hands of someone like Morley, who manages to blend the malleability of the fruit's skills with her own giant form, letting her go toe-to-toe with someone as ferocious as Ryokyogu. All of this served to impress upon the world government just how serious of a threat the Revolutionary Army actually is. To note, the usage of the so-called God's Knights is supposed to be some sort of step below nukes for the world government, so to employ them is to say, okay, we gotta do something different because this is out of control. The end of this chapter leaves us with some questions, most of which I believe will be answered in the next chapter. Princess Vivi is in the company of Cypher Pole Zero's Rob Lucci, and a still-living King Nefertari is just before entering the chamber with the Gorosei for his mysterious meeting. Just what the nature of that meeting is, we still don't know yet. We also don't know how Vivi went from the company of Cypher Pole Zero to Big News Morgans and former King Wapple. We also last see Sabo running towards what seems to be the area of the Gorosei as well, in an attempt to gather the keys needed to unlock the collars on the necks of the freed slaves. Seemingly, these events will all collapse together in the tragic conclusion of the Reverie. While these lingering details are certainly enticing for those who wish to engage with fan theorizing, I find it more interesting the fact that Oda is paying off years of speculation and build-up in one chapter, out of a series of chapters, is just outrageously impressive. The stakes have been set with the players and their positions. The events in Egghead will change the world with some great revelation. The Emperors of the Sea are all making their great moves for the One Piece. The Revolutionary Army and the world government are now actively engaged in warfare that may sweep many of the countries of the world into brutal combat. It's as Oda once said, the final saga really will make Marineford look small. What element in this final saga are you most interested in seeing more of? Feel free to respond in the comments. If you want to check out more videos like this, Remember to like and subscribe, and check out the video on the screen. Thanks for watching.